a lot of direction going into 2024 because, God, do I need some direction. Put on your emo music and you just have yourself a good cry and a good bad time. I took a spin class on Wednesday. I did a weighted workout yesterday and I went for a run today. Like, who am I? I'm so ready to leave this decade behind, which I think is a really beautiful way to feel right now. What's up, friends? Welcome back to my channel. Holy shit, it's January. And not only January, but 2024, that year, that's a concept that does not make sense in my brain. Like, it is very much still like 2014 in my mind. But wow, I hope you all had a nice holiday, whatever you celebrate. I celebrate Christmas. I went home to Delaware for a little bit, got to see my family, and also got to come back to New York on actual Christmas Day, which was like the best drive ever because no one was on the road. It took me no time to get here. You don't care. But I had a really enjoyable Christmas, spending time with the people I love. I love giving gifts. People always talk about love languages. I've never like looked up to see what mine is, but I absolutely know that I do love giving gifts to people. Obviously, I got some great gifts that I'm very grateful for as well. And yeah, New Year's Eve is around the corner. It's tomorrow? No, it is in 2 days. Today is the 29th. And before you ask what fun things I'm getting into on New Year's Eve in New York City, one of like the arguably best places to probably be on such a holiday? No, I don't know. I have no idea. We're making no plans. My ideal New Year's Eve is to like go have a nice dinner, like a nice dinner. When I say nice dinner, I mean like 3 money signs on Google or Yelp. We're normally like a 2 money signs or below type of couple when we go out to eat. But like, let's go treat ourselves to a 3 money signs meal and then come home, have some wine, have some champagne, hang out with the cats, play some games, watch the ball drop, and go to bed. That's what I would like to do. That is not what my partner Evan would like to do. I think he would like to go out, so we'll probably compromise something in the middle, but I just know we are not doing what we did last year. Long story short, we did one of those like pay $100 and open bar for 4 hours, blah blah blah, hors d'oeuvres, like so much fun, great view of the city. We went there, swam our way through the crowds of people to get our 2 drinks because you get 2 drinks at a time. We chugged them and we left because it was god awful. It was so crowded. It was so uncomfortable. Like there were so many people in this building. I was like, my paranoid, anxiety ridden brain was like, this building is gonna collapse. Like, it was bad. So we immediately left. So I spent New Year's Eve last year paying $100 to get 2 beverages, but after that we got home like just in time for the ball drop, so we watched that and then went on the roof of the last apartment that we lived in and watched like 360 fireworks all throughout Brooklyn and New York City, so that was really cool. So enough of that. You clicked on this video for a plan with me for a January reset, and that's exactly what we're gonna get into today. So I've been really looking forward to this video. If you've been around, I've been doing Plan With Me since I think just about like May or June of this year. So not very long. This will be my first Plan With Me going into a new year. So I think it's a really great opportunity to, one, continue using Notion in the way that I have been, because it was either my last Plan With Me or the one before where I had like a larger Notion makeover, and I'm feeling way more comfortable with the software now. So I'm excited to be using that going into the new year and throughout 2024. And then also just to be more intentional with my goal setting and visioning, manifesting, I don't know, whatever you want to call it. I'm not very much into those types of things. Maybe one day I will be, but I'm just not very knowledgeable. I think I've said in previous videos that the concept of like long-term planning and goal setting scares me, to say the least. I don't like thinking about the future. It like freaks me out. I don't know why. It's very complicated to do. So like whenever I've in the past gone to my like long-term goals page of my Notion, it's just like very basic things. There's like 3 things on there. It hasn't changed. I haven't achieved them. Going into the new year, I thought it might be nice to kind of focus in a little bit more and maybe not just think like broad term, long-term goals for my life. Of course, it's good to have those, but those are the ones that really freak me out because like I don't know what I'm doing with my life currently, but thinking about things on like a 365-day scale feels a little more approachable. So I will be doing that for basically the first time ever today in this video. So it makes me nervous, but I'm also excited for it. And I think and hope it will give me a lot of direction going into 2024 because God, do I need some direction. So with that being said, I would like most of today's Plan With Me to focus on the 2024 goal setting aspect of things. So I'm gonna very quickly go through like my December monthly goals, my to-do lists and all that. If you wanna see more in-depth things about my Notions, I'm really not gonna be talking about that today. Go check out some of my previous Plan With Me's up here. Without further ado, let's just get into it, I guess. Alright, so this is my Notion dashboard. It looks exactly the same as it did last time, minus some updated lists and things like that. So let's just quickly go through this. I think the plan will be to go through all my usual things. So I'll go through the to-do list, I'll go through my habit and water trackers, update those. I'll quickly go through monthly goals. We'll see if I set new monthly goals for January. I mean, I'm going to. I may save that for a different video. Actually, yeah, maybe I'll save that for a different video just for the sake of time. I will check off what I have and haven't done. I'll do really quickly like my social media tracking, and then we'll just get into the January 2024 stuff because that's what I'm most excited about. So here, my weekly weekend to-do list. Since we're in this space between Christmas and New Year's where time doesn't exist, I've kind of put everything just onto one list for right now. The weekend to-do list is empty, so I've just been collapsing that. So these are the things that I'm hoping to get done before the end of the year, before Sunday. So I didn't upload my what I eat in a day. I actually just did that a couple hours ago. You can go check that out up here if you would like. Update my, oh, I absolutely meant to do this today. That's, all right, foreshadowing. One thing I will not be crossing off of my social media monthly goals. I still have not had a chance to update my channel banner and all that, but I have the vision of what it's gonna look like. It's in my brain. I just need to put it onto Canva and then upload it to YouTube. So that's like half the battle, right? I know what it's gonna look like. I just need to physically make it. So I haven't done that. I'm filming my plan with me. I'll vacuum probably tomorrow, and as we know, I'm constantly doing laundry, so I'm just gonna check it off even though I'm probably gonna do 3 more loads before the end of the year. Okay, so to kind of update my habit tracker, I apologize if the days are out of order. For the most part, I either have to manually put them in order or assign a date to them and then sort them by day, and I don't feel like doing that half the time. So today is what, Friday? I didn't wake up on time. I let myself sleep in and it honestly felt so good. This is journaling, haven't done that. Meditation, those are things that I don't pressure myself to really do, but I track them for the sake of tracking. I did read today, so big win for me. I was active. We'll get more into that later. This is for alcohol, not drinking. It's a Friday night. I'm probably gonna have a beverage. And then whether or not I go to bed on time, we will find out. Okay, moving along to my water intake. It's a little all over the place, to say the least, but where? Oh, I'm close, I'm close. 32 ounces. I can update this. I'm at 32 ounces for now. I will definitely be drinking more water between now and the end of the evening, so I'll add to that as I go. I think last time I did social media first, so we'll just go to monthly goals. I have a feeling there's not much to really update you on, but we'll see, we'll see. So these are my December 2023 goals. I need to stop putting the spin class at the top of this because like there's never gonna be a good update there. I have taken one spin class. It was 2 days ago and it was magical, but I have not done it every single week. This next one is where things get interesting though. Do a different workout at least 4 times. And if you recall back to my December Plan With Me video, my intention for this was to not make it too specific to what type of workout. This is just like anything outside of spin, whether it's walking, running, a weighted workout, something like that, and to not make it specific to a week, hoping that like things would naturally kind of happen. The good news is that I did, I think 3 different intentional workouts outside of the one spin class I took 2 days ago. That's the good news. The bad news is that 2 of those 3 times happened today and yesterday. But I mean, 3 out of 4 was 75%. And look, my own parameters were it could be 4 times, as in like once a week, or 4 times all in 1 week. And I made the joke that it definitely wouldn't be all in 1 week, but like I took a spin class, I took a spin class on Wednesday. I did a weighted workout yesterday. And I went for a run today? Like, who am I? And then the 3rd time for just a regular workout was going for like an intentional walk a couple weeks ago. I did that and it was really nice. So I'm just gonna check that off. I feel like if I'm not gonna check off the one spin class, I can count that spin class for this and say I did 4 different workouts. So I worked out 4 times in the month of December. Go me. We're getting better about it. I think I forced myself to be very intentional with working out. I know it's like, again, that space between Christmas and New Year's that doesn't make sense, and a lot of people are just like couch potatoes, and believe me, I've been a potato on the couch for sure. But I think my mindset has been very positive and different since not working. I mean, I've been like casually, you can go watch my last video, I talk more about work, but work stresses me out, and I'll get more into this a little bit later. Work is my biggest source of my anxiety, and it prevents me, the anxiety I get from work prevents me from doing a lot. And I think one of the biggest issues with me and in trying to get back into a workout routine is that I'm trying to start it like while I'm actively super stressed and anxious about my job, if that makes sense. So I'm kind of taking advantage of this time where I'm not really working all that much and I'm in a good mindset to start there and then let it naturally keep going into the new year and when I'm back to work on like January 3rd or whatever. So that's where I'm at. we'll see how it goes. Figure out the journal situation. I mean, I kind of just do it when I want to. For now, I want to say that's crossed off because I think this whole free form of journaling, I say that as if I've done it more than once. I've only done it once. I was putting a lot of pressure on myself to like create this whole thing, to like a journal template, and I still want to do that. But I think right now the focus should just be on doing it when it feels good, because I feel like I've prevented myself from doing it when I haven't had a template, but then when I have done it, just like stream of conscious, it feels good, whatever. That being said, I did not journal 4 times. It's more of the same, you guys. It is more of the same. We're gonna have way better intentions in January for my like shorter monthly goals. Read 1 book. I'm a little less than halfway through the book that I started in December, which is good. I feel like I've read more in the past couple weeks than I have the past couple months. I haven't touched Mindful Days. I haven't touched Bake Shit Happen. Obviously, I finished my Christmas shopping. I did decorate. I didn't make Christmas cookies, but that's because my mother made so many Christmas cookies that I thought it'd be silly if I made my own, because she sent me home with so many Christmas cookies. So I have done some holiday baking though, so we'll just cross that off. Okay, like I said, we're just gonna skip right over, not skip, but I'm going to postpone setting my January goals. I'll do that maybe either on my own or in my next video. And we're just gonna go right to social media to get things moving along. The only thing we really need to look at right now is my growth tracker. So let me get out my iPad to bring up YouTube Studio. My December goal was 2,800, and in reality, I have 2,773 subscribers, which really isn't that bad, honestly. Like the fact that I gained any at all is nice. What is that, an even 50? Because I think I only posted 2 videos in December, minus my what I eat in a day, but I posted that like a couple hours ago, so like that isn't contributing to anything. Yeah, I think December got away from me a little bit. Understandably, it's the holidays, there's traveling, there's a lot going on. End of the year at work was stressful and was just a lot, so I'm not gonna be hard on myself for it. I was pretty consistent, I think, in both October and November, and maybe even September. I don't remember, but the point is I didn't hit 2,800, but that's okay. Watch time hours, I'm at 953, so that's growing, that's good. Lifetime views is 235,345. January goal, we're just gonna keep that at 2,800. Instagram, TikTok, we don't know her. We do not know her. Okay, I'll look at my monthly goals for social media, but like I think I just gave you the tea on everything. I didn't hit 2,800 subscribers. I didn't film and post 4 videos. I mean, I planned the content for December that I planned. January content, as always, that's something that like lives in my head. I do need to get better about writing those things down. Learning more about myself, that I just need to like compartmentalize my thoughts because I have a lot of them. And that's why I like lists, I like Notion, I enjoy things like this. I have notes for everything. And the more I just like get things out of my head and put them into something in an organized way that's like visually appealing to me, just I feel like helps slow my brain down, which helps me be less stressed and more mindful and living in the moment. Planning content like in Notion and not just in my brain is something I need to be more intentional about in 2024. And I didn't update my channel banner and icon, so whatever. We're just flying through this. Okay, for my 2024 goals, this is a new sheet for you all. We haven't seen this before. I will link the creator that I downloaded this template from. Obviously, like all my other templates, I updated it, adapted it a little bit. I actually didn't do too much to this one. I kept a lot of it the same, but as you can see, I have this section for creating some goals. I broke it down by personal goals, social media goals, and financial goals. And then I wanted to create some more like, I don't know, I keep using the word intention. So I guess I wanted to have a space for intentions or just the vibe, the type of person I want to be. So I have a section down here that will fill out as well. And then this little doohickey here is obviously a countdown to the end of the year. Whether or not it resets come January 1st, I have no idea. We'll find out. This might need to be a widget that I go find somewhere else and update. I have no idea, but for now it's cute. We have 2 days to go. So for the sake of organization, I did do all this prior and I wrote it down because every time I go to fill my plan with me and it gets to the goal writing section, I'm just like, I know I want to do things this month, but now I suddenly can't think of what those things are. And knowing that I want this to be not just like intentional for me, but maybe helpful for some of you. I wrote it all down, I took a picture of it, then I deleted it. We will kick things off with my personal goals. First thing I have on here is travel to 4 new places. I think it's kind of interesting. This is the very first thing I wrote down because like I'm not really a travel girly. Not that I don't like it, I just don't do a lot of it. But I guess I'm just thinking about we do have upcoming vacation time in March, so we're going to be traveling for that. I really want to get back up to the Hudson Valley again. That's not a new place that wouldn't count towards this, but I guess I'm just thinking about like all the opportunities I have to escape the city in the next year and being intentional with that. So 4 is just kind of a number I came up with. It is my favorite number. 2024 is about to be my year, hopefully. Yeah, 4 seemed reasonable because there's at least 2 planned ones. Our March vacation, we're obviously gonna be going somewhere, not sure where yet. And then in May, I have a work trip that I'm going on to a state that I've never been in. So that's 2 right there. And the other 2 will be up to me and my partner. We have 365 days to figure that out, so I'd love to go explore a little bit more. Next one I want to dive deeper into a new hobby, and I left this pretty general because I'm not quite sure what that hobby is. Obviously, like YouTube and social media is a hobby of mine, and I'm diving pretty deep into it currently as best as I can, but I want something else. I wonder if that's something that I've already done, like getting back into Bake Shit Happen or Mindful Days, my Etsy shops. That would count towards this. Maybe it's a new craft I pick up. I recently bought a cross stitch thing that I wanted to do at some point over this break because I did cross stitch a little bit as a kid. We would like do it at school. I thought that would be fun, so maybe that will be it. Or maybe I'll get back into like clay making. I used to do some of that, or knitting, or gaming. I have no idea, but I would like to kind of be more intentional about like using the free time that I have where I'm not at work, but I'm also not like actively going places and doing things, and not just like sitting down and watching YouTube, because as much as I love doing that, I also need to like stimulate my brain in other ways. So stay tuned for whatever that looks like. Making lots of apartment upgrades, and I think this is just top of the mind for me right now because I mentioned this in my last video, but we need to get a new couch, and it just has me thinking about all of the other things that I want to get for this place. And you know me, I have a list on my Notion of all the things I want to buy. Some of them are just like little decorative things, others are like larger pieces, artwork, things like that, things to just keep. This lemon tree keeps losing leaves, and it scares me every time one falls because you just hear it kind of like slowly crinkle to the floor. But yeah, some small things, some larger things. This apartment is already super cozy and feels very much like our home, and I want to keep making it feel like our home. The next one comes at no surprise for a personal goal is to have a consistent movement routine. As we know, I'm not big on using the terms exercise or working out unless it fits the context of the situation, just being more intentional with my movement. As we know, it's been kind of a slippery slope, uphill battle. I have had consistency in this area before, and I'm quite certain that I can do it again, and I think that is very much paired with like stabilizing my mental health a little bit, getting on track with some stress management, and really just leaning into the things that make me happy and make me feel like myself. So it's all gonna come together at the same time. Next one is fun. I figured I have to have something baking related on here, so I added improving my sourdough technique. I make sourdough at least every other week for the most part, and I've been using the same technique basically since I started. I haven't really tried anything new. So part of this is one, like looking up new techniques and recipes to try. I do already have a couple in the back of my mind. I feel like every time, the past few months that I make sourdough, it's like a very much a rushed process, and I'm not taking the time to do it. This actually kind of relates to my last one a little bit of just reading more, because not just like reading fiction books more, but also nonfiction too. I love a good self-help personal development book. I need to read more of those. But even just like cookbooks. I love reading recipe books. A lot of them have such good stories. I love the sentiment behind them. Again, I have a list for all the cookbooks I want to buy, and there's some bread ones on there from different chefs around the world who can provide different tips and tricks and insight. And yeah, I would love, not that like my sourdough is bad, it's not bad, but it's very much beginner and there's so much more room to grow. All right, now for social media. Now this first one, y'all are probably gonna be like, girl, are you good? Are we sure about this? But the whole point of doing this is like to manifest good things, right? So like, why not manifest something big? So my first goal, would you believe it, is to reach 10,000 subscribers. Honestly, I don't feel like this is that far-fetched because with consistency in posting comes more consistency in growth. So I think if I keep committing to social media the way that I have been, and even more than that, because obviously there's room for me to be more consistent and stay consistent, I think with that will come good rewards. And that is something I look forward to. So is it a high number? Yes. Do I think it's achievable? Absolutely. Related to that, get monetized. I feel like, and this is about to come from someone who like isn't monetized and does not make money from doing this, like I feel like there's such a stigma around earning money on social media. I was actually just listening to a podcast where they were talking about this, and I think there is a world in which I could be actively doing this because it genuinely brings me joy and happiness, and I feel a lot of creative expression from doing it, and then also want to get paid for doing it. You know, I think those things can coexist at the same time. Just because I'm doing something out of like passion and happiness and creativity doesn't mean I should be like, oh, it's not right for me to make money. Like, no, I don't know. And there's an opportunity to do it. And I mean, the one like larger goal I do have in life is to be more self-sufficient with my income and my work, and whatever that means. Again, it's a very broad goal, but I would love to be my own boss, my own CEO one day of something, whatever that is. And I think this is a piece of that. Okay, also social media, I haven't really been intentional about saying this. For all these statements are supposed to be I will statements. I will travel to 4 new places. I will improve my sourdough technique. I will get monetized. I will have updated filming equipment. And for this, I mean things, I guess I could put this in here, like, I know I need a microphone, a new lens, if I could get a wide angle lens at some point, that would be great, new lighting things, just nothing big and nothing crazy, but just like enough that makes life easier for me while filming, and it would be nice to be able to invest in a couple of newer things. For this next one, you all know for the past few months, I always just overlook Instagram and TikTok when it comes to social media related things, but I genuinely would like to get back into my Bake Shit Happen Insta and or TikTok, because when I was actively doing those and posting like multiple times a week, it did make me really happy, and I love the little community. Like, for the short time that I was like actively on my Instagram, I feel like, I don't know, I had a good community. I had people, like other baking creators that I talked to regularly, and it was just such a happy place to be in, but it felt like a lot to keep up with, and I had been taking the time to really focus on YouTube. So that being said, I would love to get back into things on Instagram and TikTok, and maybe just with the intention of like not pressuring myself so much. Like, it doesn't need to be a perfectly edited photo or even like a perfect bake. It could be something that failed. That's some of like my highest viewed reels are like my baking fails, you know? It doesn't need to be a perfectly edited TikTok or reel or anything like that. So, you know, being a little more consistent with that. Now, if I could also get back into my Bake Shit Happen Etsy, that would be great as well, but I'm not gonna write that down. We'll see what happens. Kind of going off what I was just saying about the little community that I felt like I had on Instagram, I would love to meet other creators in New York City. I know they exist. I watch them. They're here. I'm also here. Hi, I'd like to be your friend. I mean, why not, right? Like, meeting someone who does similar things to you, who you can talk to about, who you can like share things with. You can share in the excitement and the confusion of posting on YouTube and social media. I think it'd be really fun, even for a small creator. You know, I'm not out here saying I want to be best friends with like the most popular New York City creator there is, because I don't even know who that is. I think all the New York creators I watch are in smaller channels. If I naturally run into one of them just to say hi, or maybe I become friends with someone, that would be cool. Again, now that I am in New York City and not in Delaware, there's so many cool opportunities out there, so I want to take advantage of all of it, and this is one of them. Financial goals. I could probably make a bunch more of these, but this is what I have going currently. So, pay off current debt, obviously. I should also take a moment to acknowledge all the debt that I did already pay off this year. I think I paid off a lot more than I did. I paid off 2 credit cards fully. My 3rd credit card is just to keep paying off my iPad because I have an Apple card. So it's not like that collects interest or anything. And the debt that I have left is paying Evan back for our last vacation, and then my mom back from 2 years of grad school where I just could not afford certain things. So between the 2 of them, I really don't owe them that much, but to be able to pay them both off, let me specify that in case for some reason I forget come next year. But that being said, with paying off my current debt, I want to ensure that like any new debt will only come from traveling or large purchases. I think that's very reasonable. You know, I am about to hit my 1-year mark at my first full-time regular like salaried job. It's not like I have a bunch of savings I'm sitting on. I live in a very expensive city, and I do have a travel card that gets me points. So I think any new debt that I accumulate should only come from, and I feel comfortable with it coming from, you know, our vacations we have coming up. Larger purchases. I want to get a new computer. That's actually the new thing on here. Buy a new computer. I'm gonna get a MacBook. Again, it's gonna go on my Apple card. It's not gonna get interest, but that is something that I'm gonna pay off over time. And that's honestly the only big purchase I can think of at the moment, outside of like, I was gonna say if something goes seriously wrong, but I don't want to manifest that. So new computer, only big purchase this year. that I know of. Actually, kind of related to that, I want to be able to save for an emergency fund. And for that, I'm aiming for about $1,500. That's kind of always just in case. I don't know, a lot of people say to like have your emergency fund be enough for 1 month of bills. This is like my part of rent plus a little bit. I don't know, $1,500 is better than nothing. So I would love to have that by the end of the year. And then last but not least, I want to learn about / start investing. I do have an IRA that I give into, well, I haven't in a couple of months because finances got a little tight there for a second. So in January this year, I need to go back and fix that to make sure some of my paycheck is going into that. But I really don't know much about saving for retirement or investing outside of the fact that I can through work. We're gonna become financial girlies in 2024. Okay, so this last piece here, when I was writing this list earlier, it took me a kind of long time, and I don't know, I feel like in all my plan with me is on a monthly basis, I'm kind of like, I don't write it down, but I'm always like saying to some extent like the vibe of that month or the intentions for that month or how I want to feel, what I want to do, what I want to like embody. I went to go write this list and just like none of those emotions or feelings are coming to me. So it's a short list, but we can always return to it. Because this isn't so much of like, you see these bullet points, I can't check these off. These are kind of just ongoing reminders that I want to keep for myself, as opposed to the things up here that are like, no, we're doing these things, and come December 2024, when we do the January 2025 plan with me, oh my god, I can cross all these things off. Whereas this is more reflective of like, oh yeah, like throughout this year, I felt more content with my career, because that's the first one on here. And that's, yeah, I haven't talked much about that. I don't talk about my job much on here in general, but I do talk about my stress and anxiety a lot. And as I kind of talked about earlier in this video, the biggest source of it is my job. So I want to be more content with my career, and I said that more specifically than my job because maybe I won't have the job that I have right now. That's the weird part, is that I really do enjoy my job, but it stresses me the fuck out. So whether that is being content with my current job and like career trajectory, or if a new thing comes along in 2024, just being content with it. But even more than content with it, like enjoying it is probably like the larger goal. But at the baseline, being content with it enough where I feel like I can fully live my best life outside of work, because I feel like I'm not doing that currently, or I haven't been. Yeah, so that's there. I swear it's only like 2 of them that are kind of more based on negative things, because the next one is in 2024 I will be managing my anxiety. And this is something, I mean, I'm always constantly trying to manage my anxiety. I started therapy this year, which I feel like is a huge thing for me, and it's only been a few months though, so it's still a work in progress. So again, I think this ties into like, there's so many things I want to embody about this next year, between like stress management, anxiety management, being more physically active, reading more, having new hobbies, like all of it just comes together to like help create this satisfactory level of happiness that I want to achieve. Next, kind of related to that as well, all of these just keep building on each other, and I did not do that intentionally. 2024, I will be taking advantage of living in New York City, and that's something I feel like I talk about in a lot of my videos, is that I'm in one of the greatest cities in the world, and I feel like I haven't done much with that yet. And maybe I'm pressuring myself too much because it's been less than 2 years. Like, girl, come down. You have so much time. I think hopefully maybe we might be moving, like, again, I have no idea. All the more reason that I should be taking advantage of this city more. And I think I mentioned in my last video, like, I don't leave the house very often. Like, I should be doing more things in the city, and I don't want to look back when I do eventually move out of New York City and, you know, look back on that time and be like, wow, like, what did you do with it? Like, nothing. Like, that terrifies me. So just saying yes to more opportunities. I'm very much a homebody, which I don't think is a bad thing, and I don't want to stop being a homebody, but I want to be willing to do more. And I think I will be willing to do more once I get everything else in life figured out. I also feel like I've been better about that in the past couple of weeks and months as well. Going off of that, in 2024, I will be social, because I haven't been. Partially because I'm an introverted homebody who likes to hang out with my cats and have some wine. Also because I don't have a lot of friends, but I feel that shifting, have started to meet some new people, and there's more people to be met. And that's also like more than friendships as well. Like, of course I would love to have more friends in the city or just in general, wherever they are, but just being social and like the things that I do. Maybe it's like talking to more people at work, you know, being more social with the friends and family that I do have currently, like going out and doing social things with Evan. It encompasses a lot, but I think this introverted girl would benefit from a little more socializing in 2024, that's for sure. And last but not least, this is so stupid and cheesy, but in 2024, I will be in my happy era, bitch. I will be in my happy era. I will be in my happy era. I feel like I've been in my sad era for so long, and back in like Tumblr girl era, I feel like for a while I thought it was cool to be sad, if that makes sense. And like, if you know, you know, this may not be resonating with a lot of people. Like, there was a type of contentness that I felt in my sadness, whereas now I feel like I'm missing out on life in being always sad. But now it's like I have less control over it, I feel. I mean, I shouldn't say that. I do have control over my emotions, but I'm finding it harder to control them. Whereas like back in the day, if I was in a bad mood, like I would lean into that shit like intentionally. I don't know why, you know, you put on your emo music and you just have yourself a good like cry and a good bad time. But like, I'm not here for that anymore. I am almost 30 and I want to be thriving. 30, flirty, and thriving, as they say. I'm like actually not scared about turning 30 like a lot of other people make it seem. I think, one, I'm just so over my 20s, and I think 30s are the new 20s. Now that I am someone who's going into their 30s, I feel like I know who I am way more than I did when I was 21. Like, ooh, I would not, as much as I long for my early 20s sometimes, because don't get me wrong, I do, I also don't want to go back to that. I feel like 30s are the year. I mean, 30 is the year like I get my shit together. I have stable income. I do the things that I love. I'm happy. I'm in this great city. I have a lot of good things coming my way in the future. I just know it. And yeah, I don't want all the confusion and the sadness and the heartbreak that came in my 20s. 30 does not feel as daunting or like old as it felt when I was 20. Because when I was 20, I never would have said I can't wait to be 30. But now that I'm a couple months away from it, I'm like, shit girl, I'm so ready to leave this decade behind. Which I think is a really beautiful way to feel right now. All right, well, that was the time. But here are my 2024 goals. As always, in the next couple of weeks or months, like maybe I'll think of something that's like really good that should be placed into one of these categories. So who knows? I'm not sure how often I'll check in with this page other than for quarterly reflections. And this isn't something I created. This was a part of the template, but it was something that I thought about kind of doing anyway or incorporating into like Plan With Me's. So every quarter there's these sections for reflecting on the past couple of months. So there's adding pictures, which I think is really cool. That's something I've been wanting to do for a while in my Plan With Me is in like resets. I just haven't. So there's space for that now. Reflecting on what I was grateful for, what was I proud of, what do I wish I did more of, what do I wish I did less of. So that is planted within the 2024 goals section. So we will be coming back to this page every 3 months, I suppose. But other than that, I guess that's it. I feel like this was the most positive Plan With Me I've filmed in a while. I always try to be intentional of not making my Plan With Me too negative, but sometimes like the negativity just comes through. Sad girl era Sarah is still, she's never gonna be fully gone, okay? But hopefully come 2024, she'll be less apparent and making less appearances than she has been. But this felt really good to do, and I'm glad that you all have been on this journey with me and will be on this journey with me. Whatever your plans are for 2024 and beyond, I hope they all happen. I hope good things come to you, and I hope you have the best New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. I might be a little party girl in the city for the next few nights, but come January 1st, I will be back to couch potato, back to my Harry Potter marathon until work starts. So those are the vibes that I'm putting in for the very first part of the new year, but then we'll get back into routine in a couple of days. But we deserve to have our fun, deserve to have our New Year's drinks, and deserve to have the Harry Potter marathon. So until I see you in my next video, a very happy New Year to you.